I force another trade on c4, and I believe that if we trade one pair of rooks, then the danger on eventually getting hit on e2 is very remote. White will be perfectly safe there.
Impressive by Svane seeking direct combination, even though he seemed to be unfamiliar with this queen c2 idea. But knight b4 and knight d4, gutsy call. Bishop
But
takes
look at
f2.
this. He did
hasn't
not
taken
take.
the pawn.
Wow.
Something, he hallucinated something. Maybe he was afraid of rook a4. Maybe, Peter, he didn't see the move rook c4 in response to rook d4. But now the plot thickens, and white is the one. Yet again, Wang Hao goes from being pushed around to being in the driver's seat. But it still, I think, is likely to end in a draw because of the long-term weakness of white's king. We'll see.
Yes, exactly. I mean, the king one... I felt like king g1 was a more safe move than bishop f3. I'm not a fan of bishop f3, but, I mean, who can fold the players? But rook also going passive. Yeah, white will come now with queen d4.
Rook c3 was begging to be played. Rook c3, hit the pawn, put the rook behind the b-pawn, and make a draw. I mean, this is just sloppy play by Rasmus Svane. And now I think that white is very firmly in the driver's seat. You've got rook b2. You start pushing the b-pawn. And most importantly, black has no easy way to generate lasting counterplay against white's king. Rasmus might pay the price for this.
Yeah, it could easily be. In such a... Okay, finally he creates a Luft with h6. That's very important.
Yes.
And okay, this pawn f3, g3, if one of the pawn would be on the second rank, it would be a completely different story. We would be believing in white converting, but with this shaky king, queen g4.
Queen g4 forces the queen trade. And white's got chances. And he does it, but it still might be a draw, Peter. Obviously still might be a draw, but white will likely put the rook on d4 and start walking the king over to the queen side and try to eventually dislodge this rook from b5. This is a hard position to defend with 15 seconds left.
Yes, absolutely. And there is only the 2 seconds increment.
Wow. Wang Hao has a free hand here. No risk. He gets his king closer to the rook on b5. Okay.
Yeah, cutting the king, but king f3, rook e4 is anyway the mechanism.
Oh, rook f4 and rook e4. And Wang Hao is making progress. Serious progress.
Yes.
Maybe even rook c2 and rook c6. As he shifts his king. No, he's going for the old plan. King e3, king d3, king c4. I think it's almost winning in the context of a time scramble.
Yeah, it's so difficult to understand how black should be defending. Yeah, king walks to c4. The rook will eventually hit the rook on b5. Black will lose the grip and white advances b5.
It's winning now, and the eval bar is continuing to rise. The progress of the pawn is unstoppable in the long run. 5 seconds for Rasmus, and this is the idea. This is the key idea. You use the threat of a rook trade. 2 seconds, he barely made his move, and he blundered a second pawn, and now he's dead. And now he's dead lost. Rook c6. And rook c5, force the rook trade, and win the game.
Wow, frustration there from Rasmus. You could see how he captured on c5. He cannot believe it. I mean, he could have just collected that b4.
It's the nerves. And even after he gave up that pawn, he had rook c3. Plenty of opportunity. He pays the ultimate price, his sloppy play. It's that b-pawn which he didn't capture that ultimately becomes a c-pawn and decides the outcome of the game. That is it. We will see a resignation here momentarily, and Rasmus Svane's time at the World Cup comes to an end after 8 straight draws. He can't believe it. He had his chances. What an incredible match this was. And in the end, it's Wang Hao's stability, his experience that prevails.
Yeah, and Hao cannot believe. Yeah, he was smiling that, oh my God, what was this? What was this? And if he gets to know that actually in the previous 2 games, he missed the 1-move win, when he thought that the game has already ended in a draw, that thanks that he qualified will forgive himself. Otherwise, it would be almost impossible.
For Rasmus Svane, a frustrating end to an excellent performance. His brother had gone out earlier in an earlier round, but for Rasmus, Just a very, very solid player.